Top 5 foods destroying your joints after 60. Tired of stiff knees, sore hips, or aching fingers that make daily movement harder than it should be? You're not alone. Joint pain affects millions of seniors. But here's the good news. What you eat can make a real difference. Some foods can actually trigger inflammation and make joint pain worse. But once you know what to avoid, you can take control. In today's video, we're revealing the 5 everyday foods that may be silently breaking down your joints, and what you can do to protect them starting today. Stick around, because this could be the key to staying active, mobile, and pain-free in your 60s and beyond. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and feel free to ask any joint health questions you may have. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a senior-friendly health tip right here on the channel. Number 1. Sugar. Most people think of sugar as something that only affects weight or blood sugar. But once you're over 60, sugar becomes a much bigger threat, especially when it comes to joint pain and mobility. What makes sugar so dangerous is how quietly it operates. It doesn't cause a sharp, immediate pain like a fall or injury. Instead, it creates a slow, steady wave of inflammation that builds over time. And for seniors, whose bodies are naturally more sensitive to dietary triggers, that inflammation often settles right in the joints. One of the most overlooked effects of sugar is its ability to increase the production of inflammatory chemicals inside your body, especially cytokines. These are like messengers in your immune system, and while they're useful in small amounts, too many of them can actually begin attacking your body's own tissues. That includes the soft cartilage that cushions your knees, hips, fingers, and spine. This isn't just a theory. Numerous studies have linked high sugar intake with an increase in joint stiffness, swelling, and chronic pain, particularly in older adults who already have conditions like arthritis or general joint wear. And yet, sugar continues to sneak its way into everyday meals. That's what makes it so tricky. It's not just the obvious culprits like candy or soda. Sugar hides in flavored yogurts, bottled salad dressings, pasta sauces, cereal bars, and even so-called light or low-fat foods. These products often replace fat with added sweeteners, and many seniors choose them thinking they're making a healthier choice, when in reality, they're just adding more inflammation to their system. Over time, this consistent exposure begins to change the way your joints feel. The cushion starts to thin, flexibility fades, and activities that used to feel easy, like gardening, walking, or climbing stairs, start to feel uncomfortable or even painful. But here's the part no one tells you. Joint pain doesn't just happen overnight. It's often the result of hundreds of tiny moments throughout the day, each bite, each sip, that either helps your body or hurts it. And sugar, unfortunately, is one of the most consistent ways people unknowingly harm their joints. Even worse, sugar cravings can become more intense as you age. Hormonal shifts, changes in sleep, and even some medications can increase your desire for sweet foods. That makes it harder to cut back, even when you know it's causing issues. But the moment you start reducing sugar, even gradually, you'll likely notice something remarkable. Mornings become easier. You move with less resistance. That tight, inflamed feeling begins to ease. And it doesn't require cutting sugar completely. It starts with awareness, reading labels, choosing unsweetened versions of your favorite foods, and using fruit, cinnamon, or a small amount of honey as better alternatives. Your joints are like the hinges of a door. If they're rusted and inflamed, everything feels harder. But once you remove the thing that's causing the damage, your body can begin to repair. That's why sugar is number 1 on this list. It's not just a sweetener. It's a silent disruptor. And if sugar is the spark, the next item is the gasoline. It's something added to thousands of healthy foods, and it's probably already in your kitchen. Number 2. Vegetable oils. When people talk about healthy eating, vegetable oils often get a free pass. You'll see them in products labeled heart healthy or light, and most pantries have at least one bottle of canola, soybean, or corn oil sitting by the stove. But what many don't realize is that these oils, especially when consumed regularly, can quietly trigger inflammation in the body, particularly in the joints. That's because most commercial vegetable oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids. While your body does need some omega-6 for normal function, it also needs omega-3 to maintain balance. And here's the problem. The modern diet provides far too many omega-6 and not nearly enough omega-3. That imbalance is one of the key reasons so many older adults experience chronic joint pain, stiffness, and swelling that doesn't seem to go away, no matter how much stretching or medication they try. The science behind it is simple. When the body takes in too many omega-6, it starts producing more inflammatory chemicals, especially in areas already under stress, like your knees, hips, and lower back. Over time, this chronic inflammation wears down the soft tissue that cushions your joints, leaving them vulnerable to friction, damage, and pain. And unlike sugar, which you can often taste and recognize, vegetable oils are sneaky. They're baked into crackers, chips, cookies, and bread. They're used in frozen meals, canned soups, and even salad dressings that claim to be clean or natural. That means even when you're trying to make healthy choices, these oils might still be part of your diet and quietly making your joints worse. To make matters worse, many of these oils are highly processed. During manufacturing, they're exposed to high heat and chemicals that strip away nutrients and leave behind unstable molecules. When you cook with these oils at high temperatures, like frying or searing, they can break down further and form compounds that irritate the body. The result? More inflammation, more stiffness, and less freedom in your movement. If you've ever felt fine in the morning, then stiff and sore after lunch or dinner, it might not be the weather or your age. It might be the cooking oil. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up fats entirely. In fact, your body needs healthy fats to protect the joints, absorb vitamins, and support the brain. The key is choosing the right ones. Extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and flaxseed oil are all rich in anti-inflammatory properties and much more joint-friendly than industrial seed oils. They're stable, nutrient-rich, and support the kind of long-term mobility most people want to maintain as they age. Just swapping out your cooking oil can reduce stiffness, improve comfort, and even support other areas of health like heart function and memory. Your joints respond to what you feed them, and while oils might seem like a small detail, they play a big role over time. If sugar sets the stage for inflammation, vegetable oils pour fuel on the fire. And the next item on the list? It's not sweet or oily. It's soft, familiar, and found in nearly every household. But it's quietly one of the biggest threats to your joint flexibility. Number 3. Refined carbs. Refined carbohydrates might look harmless on the surface. Soft bread, warm pasta, fluffy white rice, or a baked pastry with your coffee. They're comforting, familiar, and for many people over 60, a regular part of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But the problem with these foods isn't just in the calories. It's what they do after you eat them. Once refined carbs enter your body, they quickly break down into sugar. And as we discussed earlier, too much sugar leads to inflammation. But here's where things get worse. Refined carbs also trigger a reaction called glycation, where excess sugar molecules attach to proteins and form damaging compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These AGEs settle into your tissues, including the cartilage in your joints, and make them stiffer, less elastic, and more prone to breakdown over time. This slow damage doesn't always feel dramatic at first. It might start with a little stiffness in the morning. Then, walking becomes more tiring. Maybe it takes longer to recover after exercise or chores around the house. Over time, that creeping discomfort turns into joint fatigue, where even simple movements feel like a chore. And it's not just your knees or hips. Shoulders, hands, ankles. Any joint that already has a little wear becomes a target when refined carbs are a regular part of your diet. What makes it more dangerous is that these foods are often marketed as wholesome or necessary. White bread that says enriched with vitamins. Crackers that boast low fat. Breakfast cereals with whole grains. but also a heavy dose of added sugars and starches. These labels can be misleading, and many seniors unknowingly consume foods that accelerate the very symptoms they're trying to avoid. Another problem with refined carbs is their effect on insulin levels. High-carb diets can lead to frequent spikes in blood sugar, followed by crashes. This roller coaster stresses the body and keeps inflammation active, which makes it harder for joints to heal and recover naturally. And when inflammation becomes chronic, it doesn't just affect movement. It affects sleep, energy levels, digestion, and overall well-being. That's why reducing refined carbs isn't just good for your joints. It can improve how you feel in nearly every area of life. The good news? You don't have to give up carbs altogether. Instead, focus on switching to complex carbohydrates. Things like oats, lentils, sweet potatoes, quinoa, and brown rice. These foods digest more slowly, provide steady energy, and don't trigger the same damaging glycation process. Over time, many seniors who make this change notice less swelling, smoother movement, and fewer random flare-ups after meals. It's a small shift, but one that your body will thank you for. So if refined carbs quietly weaken your cartilage from the inside, what's next is something even more subtle, but just as harmful. It's a daily habit for millions of people, especially first thing in the morning. And while it wakes you up, it may also be putting pressure on your joints in ways few people talk about. Number 4. Coffee. For many people over 60, a hot cup of coffee is more than just a drink. It's a ritual. It's how you start your day, how you reset in the afternoon, or even how you wind down with a good book or conversation. But while coffee can feel comforting and energizing, having too much of it, especially on a daily basis, can quietly work against your joint health. The problem isn't the coffee itself, but the way it interacts with your bones and minerals. You see, coffee is naturally acidic, and when consumed in large quantities, that acidity can disrupt your body's internal balance. One of the biggest concerns is that it can interfere with how your body absorbs calcium, a mineral that plays a vital role in maintaining strong bones and stable joints. Over time, reduced calcium absorption can lead to weaker bone structure, which then puts more strain on your joints. Imagine your knees or hips working overtime to support you without the cushioning and bone density they once had. That added pressure leads to more wear and tear, faster fatigue, and a higher chance of discomfort even after light activities. And while the effects may not show up overnight, they build slowly, one cup at a time. Another issue is that caffeine itself may slightly dehydrate the body. Dehydrated joints are less lubricated, making movements feel rougher and increasing the risk of small, repeated stress to the connective tissues. If you've ever noticed your joints feeling more creaky or stiff after a few extra cups of coffee, that's not your imagination. To make things worse, many people unknowingly make their coffee even harder on the body by adding sugar, flavored creamers, or processed syrups. These additions may enhance the taste, but they also contribute to inflammation, which only makes the joint issues more severe. So it becomes a double hit. First, your body is dealing with calcium loss, and second, it's fighting added inflammatory triggers. This combination can lead to mornings that start out with a burst of energy, but end in aching joints by midday. Now, that doesn't mean you have to stop drinking coffee completely. Moderation is the key. For most people, 1 cup a day, especially if it's low acid and enjoyed without added sugars, isn't a problem. In fact, when consumed wisely, coffee can offer antioxidants and even some heart benefits. But if you're having 3, 4, or even more cups per day, and pairing it with refined pastries or sweet creamers, that's when trouble begins. If cutting back seems difficult, try switching to herbal teas or coffee alternatives like chicory, roasted barley, or golden milk. These provide the warmth and comfort of a morning drink without the acidity or caffeine overload. Your joints are sensitive to more than just movement. They respond to your daily habits. And what feels like a harmless morning ritual might actually be contributing to that soreness or stiffness that slows you down. But if coffee quietly chips away at your joint health, the next item on this list hits even harder. It's savory, salty, and often seen as a quick protein fix. But what's inside can accelerate joint damage faster than almost anything else in your fridge. Number 5. Processed meats. Processed meats are a common go-to for quick meals. They're easy to find, ready to eat, and often marketed as a good source of protein, something seniors are encouraged to prioritize for muscle and bone health. But not all proteins are created equal, and when it comes to joint health, processed meats can quietly be one of the most damaging choices on your plate. These include cold cuts, sausages, bacon, hot dogs, deli ham, and even canned meats. The problem lies in what they contain beyond the meat itself. Excess sodium, preservatives like nitrates, and chemical compounds that are created during the processing and cooking phases. One of the biggest concerns is the extremely high sodium content. While salt enhances flavor, too much of it causes your body to retain water. That water doesn't just bloat your belly. It often settles around the joints, leading to swelling, stiffness, and an uncomfortable feeling of heaviness, especially in the knees, ankles, and fingers. For someone already managing joint sensitivity, that added pressure can turn minor aches into daily discomfort. But sodium is only part of the problem. Processed meats also contain compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, similar to what we talked about with refined carbs. These AGEs are formed when meats are cooked at high temperatures or preserved for long shelf life. When consumed regularly, they contribute to inflammation in the body and actively degrade collagen and cartilage, the materials that keep your joints cushioned and mobile. Over time, this breaks down the structural integrity of your joints. You may start noticing that your knees creak when you get up, your hips feel sore after sitting for long periods, or your hands feel tight in the morning. Many people assume these are just the natural effects of aging, but diet plays a much bigger role than most realize. And unlike whole foods, processed meats lack the nutrients your body needs to counteract this kind of wear and tear. They don't offer the healthy fats, antioxidants, or fiber that can help reduce inflammation and support recovery. Instead, they flood the body with salt, sugar, often used in curing, and additives that create a perfect storm for joint pain. The good news is that you don't have to give up convenience to protect your joints. You can replace processed meats with lean, unprocessed protein sources like grilled chicken, turkey, lentils, beans, or even eggs. These options provide the building blocks your joints need without the harmful side effects. And when you do feel like enjoying meat, aim for grass-fed, minimally processed versions with simple ingredients and no added nitrates. Every small improvement makes a difference, especially when it comes to reducing joint pressure and regaining mobility over time. Processed meats might seem innocent, just a quick sandwich or a few slices of bacon. But over the weeks and months, they chip away at the comfort and flexibility your joints need to keep you moving. If this video helped you understand more about the foods that might be affecting your joints, please give it a like. It really supports the channel and helps us keep bringing you valuable tips to stay strong, active, and pain-free. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts, ask any questions you have about joint health, or let us know what topic you'd like us to cover in the next video. We're always listening, and your input helps us create content that truly matters to you. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss another video packed with easy, senior-friendly health advice. Remember, your health is your most valuable investment. Take care of it one step at a time, and we'll be right here to guide you. Small changes in your routine can lead to big changes in how you feel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.